Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are so pleased to have you on the Going Bold Wednesday. And here today, we're going to be focusing on the experts. Absolutely. So we're glad that you are joining us here. We are on the goingboldmedia.com. Just go into goingboldmedia.com. You're going to see a brand new face for us. We are really putting our makeup on. We're revamping a little bit, and we're so pleased to be able to do that. So we have something totally special for you as we're growing. But we are on the show, Linked to Experts Business Showcase, and the hosts today are my good friend Joanne Weiland. Hey, Joanne.
Hi, Cece.
It's
Hi,
great to have,
everyone.
yeah, it's great. It's great. We're great. Not only are we friends, but we're getting to be able to get together on this show. The other thing is, I am Cece Shatz. If you don't know me, I am fondly called the doyenne of relationship building, and this is what we do each and every day right here on the Link to Experts. And so we're really pleased to be doing that. So, Joanne, tell us what we've got in store for them today.
Well, I am so excited because of the fact that we have one of my good friends, another good friend, Tom Gay, that I've known for over 10 years. And this man, he just constantly helps us to make our lives easier by inventing things to make our business life easier. That in turn, of course, helps you have more time to live, work, and play and have more of a balanced life because he's always trying to think what he could do or invent to make it easier. And I'm so excited today we get to share with you what he's created recently, which is the Engage Pro and Chatbridge, and he'll explain more about it. But again, it's all about making your business easier because when you can network with ease, that of course that turns into clients, and clients of course turn into business. So it's just a real win-win-win for everyone.
Oh, you bet. You bet. He's going to join us today. He's going to show us why building strong relationships is the key to success. And in the virtual business background, in that world of virtual business, we all are, going towards it. When we went through COVID, everybody just flew to the internet. And now what's happening is you're seeing an abundance of shows, you're seeing an abundance of individuals there, and what we're trying to do is pull out the experts like Tom Gay. So we're going to bring him up so that we can share some of his information and welcome Tom to the show.
Well,
Welcome.
thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you, Cece and Joanne. I'm honored that you would have me with you today.
Well,
We
we're
are
honored that you are willing to share because Cece and I are both users of both Engage Pro and Chatbridge. So we're excited to share it with the world too because it's pretty new. And because of that, not many, people have heard of it possibly. So we're hoping today we'll bring it to the forefront and on lots of 57 different networks to be able to share it with 5 million viewers. And we're really excited about that because of the fact that it really will help people do business quicker, faster, easier.
Yes, well, thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Well, I'm happy to respond to you, and I love the fact that as I sit here and I look at the title in your program, the word relationships is right up there, big and in the center of it. And we're going to talk about how that applies to the business world and how important it is, especially in this noisy life that we're living today.
Good. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'd like you to start with if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, how would you like me to begin, if you will? Because, as you know, Joe, I could take us back a dozen years and tell stories about you and I.
And although we would like that, but I think we need to keep it onto the business at hand. Tell us a little bit about like your journey. Why did you decide that there was going to be a need for something like Chatbridge Connect and Engage Pro? Because I mean they are both separately awesome. And so why did you feel like you need to be the founder, the forefronter, really stepping forward in today's world and bringing that to us? to the business world?
That's a great question, and there are two turning points or embarkation points. I'll start first with the EngagePro,
Okay.
and then I'll bring the Chatbridge story along, because Chatbridge is a outgrowth of the dramatic change that hit us all 3 years ago with COVID, and turning us into a virtual network or a virtual world globally. But starting back with EngagePro, I was in a desperate spot about 15 years ago. I had just moved to a brand new market and was starting a consulting practice. And I didn't know a single person there in this new market. Not a single person, not a single business person, obviously a neighbor or two. And I had always learned that when you build trust and relationships, people open their doors to you. And in trying to start my consulting practice, working with CEOs, I was a CEO just prior to that in a very significant company that I started into public. What I learned is all the money that I spent on marketing was poured down the drain because it wasn't working. People weren't coming to conferences. People weren't answering direct mail. They were overwhelmed then with all the noise in their lives. So I started a process to connect relationally with people. Go to meetings, send them thank you notes, follow up by sending something that they may find interesting based on what you learned about them. And my business suddenly turned from red or yellow red to bright green. I went from 0 clients in a new marketplace to over 30 in 18 months who were paying me a monthly retainer to be a consultant advisor to them. It was all about trust building when you distill out all the activities that I employed. And with that, some smart young kid came along, a techie, and he said, Tom, why don't we take what you just did, because he was watching it, and turn it into a software tool. And that software tool came out, and Joanne, you may remember 22 Touch. 22 Touch was the title of the company, and what it represented is if you make contact with someone once every 2 to 3 weeks over the course of a year, you're going to have a relationship that's glued together with you for life in the business world. Well, as time went on, we said, well, there's a global market for this tool. So we went out and secured the name refer.com and built that into a global company that became a provider of referral marketing software and serving millions of people. And it's all based around the premise that if you will systematically focus on a few people, build relationships with that few people, what they're going to do is begin to know you, like you, and trust you. We all know that phrase. As trust builds, because you're investing in that relationship, people who are receiving that level of attention from you want to start giving back. The power of reciprocity flows into their lives and hearts. And when you teach them how to give back, guess what? Everybody wins. You get what you're looking for. You're giving them what they want. And we've proven that it turns people into business partners, referral sources, teammates. It also works in life, by the way. This isn't just about business. This works in all walks of life. If I could tell a story, I haven't told this story in years, but when I was trying to win the hand of my fair lady, okay, what did I do? I sent her a birthday card, building the relationship. We weren't engaged as yet, but that birthday card showed up in her mailbox 30 days in advance. And then every day up to her birthday, another birthday card arrived in her mailbox.
Oh, wow. So she had to get with you to stop the mail.
Yeah, the junk mail. You could have said that.
I was going to, but I did not. I was, I can't be tactful.
Well, that's what happens when you invest. I'm laughing at myself. I just heard, at my age, it's good to know that you can still blush.
Right.
That means I still have blood pressure. But, it's 45 years later. We're still doing it. So still going strong.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
wonderful.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
But there's not a difference between us having a one-to-one relationship that's meaningful and us having that relationship in a business setting where we each take away something that is good for what we're attempting to do.
Right. I think Joanne's business, Linked Expert, if anyone wants to check that out, linkedexpert.com. She has a wonderful directory there. But that's what you're all about. That's what we're all about here on the Going Bold Network. And so yeah, we are totally right with you on that, Tom.
Yeah, and it's been fun watching people come to me. I do a lot of work today with coaches of all types, business coaches, life coaches, health coaches. And a great many of them are struggling finding clients. And if we talk and we learn that there's a need, in 4 to 5 weeks, their sales prospect pipeline is beginning to get filled up with quality introductions by them learning how to reach out and make contact and give care and build a relationship. And that's a lot of fun watching someone go from, survival to success in just a few weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree with that. I think that more people, if I know the young coming up, they want to do everything, online, virtually, through emails, through everything. But you really do need that personal connection with someone. And I know I have built my business on the personal connection with everything that I've done. And I know same with you, Joanne, haven't you?
Yes, and it's really, I think, more important than ever because of what you just said, Cece. And it's really not, I find, just the younger group. I find a lot of people that our age, the three of us on the show, a lot of people our age actually are doing the same thing. You just get these mass emails. They're generic. They're mass even texts. And I feel like if you don't really have a personal touch, like like you said about the birthday card, and I know one of the examples I would love you to share too about the EngagePro, Tom, is the way that you can also find out what's important to that person, what's of interest to that person, and zone in on that, because I think that's huge, because people want to feel like you really do care and that you're special. I feel like sometimes I pretend people have a necklace on when I'm talking to them, and the necklace says, make me feel special, to remind me to talk to that person about them. Because it's so easy for us to get on and just start rambling about us, but how do we make them feel special? So Tom, maybe you could hit on that.
Yeah, I'll give you a story as a preamble to it. When people are selling their stuff in whatever setting, you connect on LinkedIn or you meet them at a networking event, and they go right into selling their stuff as a rule. We all start turning off pretty quickly when that happens.
Yeah, the elevator pitch, right?
The elevator pitch, and there's so much improvement that people could gain by if they took a different look at it. But I'll give you a story. EngagePro was built in such a way, that's my software product, EngagePro.com. If you put the name of someone into the software, and you start to have a conversation and you learn about who they are and you add those characteristics into the software, it automates finding information about what they care about and serves it back to you so that you can bring it up in conversation or in a note or in a text message or whatever ways you're communicating.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a true story. It's about December 10th of this past year. I meet a young man from Columbia, South Carolina. His name is Daniel. And it's our first meeting, and he's an influencer in that part of the world. And we have a wonderful conversation. It's 4:30 his time in South Carolina, early afternoon here in California, where I am. And he stands up and says, Tom, I got to run, just like we're on Zoom here now, just he and I. And he's wearing this ugly Christmas sweater. and he starts to laugh and he says, I've got to go pick up my wife. We're going to an ugly Christmas sweater party. This is where EngagePro comes in and changes people's lives. We laugh, we say goodbye. I've got Daniel as one of my contacts in EngagePro. I add ugly Christmas sweaters to this little tool we have in there called the Intelligent Connector.
Mm-hmm.
I click on it after our meeting, after our one-on-one has ended, because I want to send Daniel a thank you note the next day, Saturday, and include something in it about that ugly sweater that we laughed about. In a half a second, on my computer screen is an article that the system went out and found titled The 27 Worst Ugly Christmas Sweaters for 2022. How does yours compare? One click, and I've copied that article, pasted it into an email, sent him a thank you note, and that started the whole relationship. We laughed over the sweaters. I gifted him with an article, and today we're in a relationship where we see each other in different ways almost every week. That's how it works. And when you follow up with people on those things that matter to them, now all of a sudden your other centeredness becomes the attraction that leads to gluing a relationship together. That's where engagement, yeah.
People don't care much about what you know as much as they want to know how much you care.
And it's so easy to do when you have a willingness to do that, number one, and some tools such as we talk about to help make it easy.
Exactly. No, and that's what I meant about you make people's lives easier, because we could do this on our own, but you already have it created for us and make it so simple to be able to implement it, because that's the other part. I think a lot of people have good ideas about things like this, but they don't always take the time to implement it because it would require a lot of time and effort, where you make it easy.
Well, it's self-serving because I needed to make it easy for myself too. So we're all benefit. But the whole point is, we all need to be more focused on the other person. I just wrote an essay calling for a relationship reset in our cultures globally. We need to experience the great relationship reset to help offset all of the technology that's just surrounding us and in fact separating us personally and business-wise. So I love the whole concept of bringing it to people's attention that relationships do matter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I wholeheartedly think that way. And I also think that we can gain a lot, both professionally and personally, when we make it about the other person, if we're willing to help. And so often, my whole platform is really about helping people get their knowledge, their expertise, and make that personal connection with our audience. And so, I've gained 100% by everyone's shows. I mean, I listen to, of course, it's what I do, but I mean, there is not a show I can say that I have not listened to, and so I think that I constantly fill my personal well all the time because I'm, inspired by all that's around me. And so I think what you're doing, Tom, is great, bringing together this avenue where we can not only perform some of the business duties that we have to do, that we do have to do it, because if not, we're just not going to get anywhere. But we do it in a personal level, bring our personalities to it, allow ourselves to be able to go and connect with people on a more personal basis and at a personal level. And I've learned that if I make friends, then I've got someone in my life forever versus just someone that's a business acquaintance. So yeah.
I agree. I think of all the coaches that I encounter, and you probably know a good many, and they're just so anxious to find that next client that their focus is on selling their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I teach that if you have 15 or 20 people in your inner circle who you have a relationship with, like we've been describing,
right?
And if those people, let's say it's 20 people to make the arithmetic easy for me. If you have 20 people who happen to know 20 people they might introduce you to if they wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
that's 400 potential opportunities. And everyone knows, maybe not 20, but they know a few. How do you get them to open up that digital Rolodex, as I call it? That's this little thing right here, digital Rolodex. How do you get them to open that up for yourself? Relationships. And if you did that with 15 people, inside of 6 weeks, you're going to have 10 people that you're walking in the front door or over the Zoom and having a discovery conversation with.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Don't you, Joanne? I mean, I just think that when we can make that personal connection, we want to help the other person. Like when I talk to someone and they have a business about something, and I get excited about their business, and I want to see them succeed because now they're my friend, and so like I want them to do well too. And let's talk about competition. So often I'll hear people say, well, they don't want to do whatever because it's a competitor. There's no competition in this world, because the reality is it's a very big world. There's room for all of us, and if we help each other, then we can all have a very great place in this world. And so to me, there's no competition at all. It's just, let's just all work together and create something really great. And so I think connecting, your Chatbridge and, EngagePro, I like it, I'm on it, I do it. So I want to share it with everyone else and make sure that they know. So because of that, we do on the Chatbridge Connect, we do have a special, Tom has given us a special, sign in, or whatever you call it. Yeah, sign in, I guess you would say. But you go to chatbridgeconnect.com, which is the normal, right? Chatbridgeconnect.com. And then you do the // question mark AFF =WNNHS. And what that does is that lets him know that you heard it here on our station. And so we want him to know where he's getting his information from. So again, that's chatbridgeconnect.com /question mark AFF =WNNHS. And let me tell you, I'll give you a quarter if you remember that.
And if not, you can read it off the screen, but I think that's a perfect segue for Tom to explain Chatbridge, just because we're, I just wanted to make sure that we explain that too. But I think it's a perfect example of what you two are talking about with the three of us here on the call. I mean, Cece, a couple weeks ago when you called me and asked me if I wanted to be a co-host, it's because we already had a relationship. We already knew that we could trust each other to do right by each other, if you will, as co-hosts, as well as I knew Tom for at least 10 years. And I said, I'd love to have him on the show. But before I even did that, I said, I want you to try this Chatbridge and EngagePro. And you did, and you fell in love with it like I did. So I really feel like we are practicing what we're preaching.
I know it's great, but we got to take a break, so we have to definitely do that. But before we do, I want you guys to grab a pen and paper or take your cameras out, your digital, whatever we call this. Take a picture if you want, but if you want, it's also on the rebroadcast. But go to Chatbridge. That's ChatBridge Connect CONNECT.com. And then check that one out. And when you're done with that, go on over to EngagePro.com. Do you have a link to back and forth to these two different I forget now if you've got a link back and forth on the websites. I think you do. But go to EngagePro.com. That's ENGAGE Pro.com. And I tell you what, you're going to be very, very pleased that you check this out. And maybe this is something that you want to add to your, portfolio regarding business. So you want to definitely do that. We have a wonderful Tom Gay right here with us, and he's, a business strategist. He's the founder of Chatbridge Connect and EngagePro. We're going to talk more about it when we get back. So you guys stick right around. Okay. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Welcome back to Link to Expert Business Showcase with myself, Cece Shatz, and my wonderful friend, Joanne Weiland. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the #1 internet talk network, and we are so proud of that. We want to thank you for making that happen. Again, if you guys want to find us, just go to goingboldmedia.com. We've got a brand new face on there. So check it out. Let us know what you think. But we are excited to have our wonderful guest on today, Tom Gay. He's the founder of Chatbridge Connect and EngagePro. If you missed the first part of the show, not to worry. We have a rebroadcast. You want to listen to it, and you definitely want to do that, because this is something that you want to check out for your business. You want, as we're moving forward and we want to grow our business, we have to stay on top of technology. We have to stay on top of that personal touch that we give to people. One, that we can make that full connection so that we can not only embrace our business life, but we can embrace our personal life and build further friendships as we move forward in business. And that will make our business grow. So chatbridgeconnect.com, check it out. EngagePro.com, check it out, and see if this is something you want to add to your business. I don't know, what do you call it? Pocketbook? I don't know. Your business. What do you call it when you have a toolbox? You want to add it to your toolbox so that you can. That's funny. I say pocketbook, but yeah, you want to, like, younger kids are going, "What the heck is a pocketbook?"
Right.
So you want to add it to your toolbox. But Tom, I hope I make you laugh. But you know what? You are, the really the creator, and so I think that it's important that we stay on top of technology. You were in the forefront of seeing that some changes need to be made with connecting, with networking. Networking isn't exactly like it was of yesterday, and so you were smart enough to realize, okay, we got to do something to continue our networking in a business format, but keep it still with that personal touch. So let's talk a little bit more about Chatbridge Connect, because I think we need to know more about it. What do you think, Joanne?
I think so. And the reason I really think so, if you ever think of the word business, it's busyness. And a lot of times I find most people that are in business are so busy being busy that they're really not accomplishing what they need. And I think when Tom explains to us how Chatbridge is going to help you be less busy and more productive, you're going to be thrilled, because I feel like that's why a lot of people, get frustrated or give up, because it does take a lot of time, where Tom's going to explain how much easier it is to be networking with others and showing that you care. So go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much. The origin of Chatbridge was stimulated by our move to virtual networking, and that all came out of the COVID and really accelerated, as we all know. Now, if you're going to online networking for the purpose of meeting people, it's fair to say your objective is to find a prospect who might be someone who needs your services, or someone who could introduce you to someone who may need your services. Now, it may end up that you end up on a stage or a podcast communicating your value proposition, or you may end up with someone who you're having a sales conversation with. But that's the networking world today. The key to effective networking is following up after you finish that meeting. Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets hard. It's hard because when you save a chat, as everyone screams, save the chat, you get this file. I call it an awful ugly file that you've got to go through and find information within it that helps you to see whether you should follow up with, let's say, Cece or with Joanne. Most people never open the file because it's so hard to use, and therefore the value of their networking time investment diminishes to zero or near zero, because they don't have the ability to follow up quickly and easily. Someone came to me with a problem a few months back and said, "Tom, can you do something to help us get some value out of this downloaded saved chat?" And I didn't know the answer at that time, but as it's evolved, now, it'll be close to a year in a couple of months. We figured out the technology that will instantly translate that saved chat into an easy to use list of the people who came to the meeting, who posted information, who shared their website links, their LinkedIn profile link, Facebook pages, email addresses, even their calendars, and said, I want to talk with people who might have an interest in this or partner with people. So literally in 2 clicks, you have all those people in front of you for you to easily screen through and find people who you should be able to reach out to. In 1 click, you can open up their web page or their social media site if they added it and see what they're all about, so you can reach out to them on a relational level. Now, there is a thread here between Chatbridge and EngagePro, because when I meet you in a networking meeting, you're not yet a relationship, you're a contact. However, once I see that I want to reach out to Joe because whatever the reason is, I can click on Joe's name and see everything about her. I make another click and send Joe's information over into EngagePro, and now start looking for those articles on the ugly Christmas sweaters or the upcoming season in Florida or whatever it is that she may be interested in, that I learned about her from her adding a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page. So Chatbridge has taken off amazingly globally already, because there's so much of our lives spent in virtual networking. Ask yourself, how many networking meetings do you go to over the course of a week or a month? And how's that working for you? Well, for most people, they're stuck or stopped before they ever get anything coming back at them. This changes everything for them. It's easy, economical. One person, Carolyn out of the Washington, D.C. area, she went through all of her saved chat files for the first 6 months of the year. In 30 minutes, she opened every one of them up inside of Chatbridge, identified the people she missed, and had 400 people she added to her CRM to reach out and bring her services to. Excuse me. So it's as simple as I just described it.
Yeah, that is excellent. It's absolutely excellent, and it definitely, is needed. It's something that, again, it kind of automates us, right? Because we have to start thinking about that. Joanne is constantly telling me about automation. You are always sharing that with me, and because why do something twice, 3 times, 4 times, right?
Well, I want to dispel anyone who's watching this and thinking that I'm not a technical person. Well, truthfully, I don't think any of us on this call would call ourselves technical.
No,
Maybe.
Okay.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
It's designed for the everyday person who needs a solution to how do I get value out of that Zoom or virtual networking session I just spent an hour in. And if you start there, the system is so intuitive. It doesn't have a user manual. It doesn't need one.
Right. It really is. I use it. I love it. I can tell you it is really, really, really simple.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you real quick, like, I know you use Zoom. Are there any other networking platforms you can think of that it works with, or?
Well, interesting you say that. We built it for what is called the Zoom networking platform. And now we're building it and expanding it so it works in other platforms.
Okay.
So that's all coming together right now. And nevertheless, Zoom has 300 million users around the globe. So they're the 800-pound gorilla, if you
Yeah,
will.
they're the biggest. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's great. So you connect with Zoom, but it's nice. And again, you're stepping forward and you're adding, you're going to add
Ab-
to it. That's great.
ab-
We're going to have to close down here in just a minute or two, but I wanted to share with the audience that you do a call, right? You do like a Zoom meeting. Is it a Zoom meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, you do a Zoom meeting is it every Friday?
Every Friday. Yes.
And anybody can go to that. I mean, you
Uh,
guys can go to it, learn more about, you can do a couple different things. So I'm going to kind of let you guys know it's a secret, but you can not only learn about, Chatbridge Connect and EngagePro, of how to use it, what it does, all of that kind of thing. It's kind of an exploratory type of a gathering, but it is a fantastic way to network because all kinds of people go. And then you get to learn about their business, and they get to learn about you, and it's like this combination, great thing that happens. So I mean, why not take advantage of that? Not only do you get to learn, and if you decide you do want to use the Chatbridge Connect and EngagePro, which Joanne and I highly suggest that you might want to look into it. But if you decide to use it, you learn more about it as you're doing it. But you also get to connect with other business individuals and leaders, not only in in your vicinity, but also worldwide. So it's a win situation for you, and it's what, like an hour long. Yeah.
Yes. You also, Cece, get to learn from others. That's when I go on the call, I learn from others how they use it or what else they do with it. So you get other ideas to share as well. So that's why it's really valuable. It's what I call like a mastermind meeting for networking, how to network effectively. So it's perfect. I would recommend you join the call.
Well, it's Friday afternoon every week, and I kind of call it Cheers at the Cheers bar, where it's a family gathering, and we have a wonderful time. And I use Zoom, and if you're okay, I can share my Zoom number because it's my cell phone number too.
Yeah, I didn't put that down. Let me see if I can add that. Will I know Zoom?
Yeah, it's the same number every single week, just because I need to make it easy for me. But that Zoom link is 208-890-7599. So just log into Zoom.
One more time,
208-890-7599. Now, everyone across the globe now knows my personal cell phone.
No.
And I do answer, but
he does.
But that's the Zoom code.
Okay, let me just repeat it back. 2088907599.
7599. 208-890-7599.
There we go.
That's it. Whoa, good.
I did it. Yeah.
And what time, Tom? Isn't it 4 o'clock our time? East Coast.
It's 4 o'clock East Coast, 1 p.m. Pacific. And we get people joining in from Africa and from the UK, and it's a very eclectic group of people.
Yeah, so why not take advantage of that? Absolutely. So everyone, we're going to have to close down the show, but again, it's chatbridgeconnect.com, engagepro.com. Let everyone know that if you want to connect, we'd love for you to connect through us, which is the chatbridgeconnect.com, and it's /AFF =WNNHS. So that's chatbridge.com /AFF =WNNHS. So we'd love for you to do that, so he knows that you heard it from us, and we would love that. So thank you so much, Tom, for being on the show. It's gone by so quickly. We love having you, and it's an honor, really. It's an honor to be with you. We do have oh yeah, look, we had someone say from Africa. So yeah, so he enjoys it. So we are appreciative of that for sure. So.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate both of you, Cece, Joe. Any way I can help you, I'm here.
I know, and thank you.
Thank you. We love you. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, we're going to have to close out the show. We want to thank you so much for joining us. And, it's just such a pleasure here to be with you. We'd like to also share with you if you would like to have your own show, if you want to be a Going Bold guest or a host, contact either Joanne. She's always friendly and she loves to talk to people, or myself. And we would love that. If you want to talk to Joanne, just go to J Weiland, WEILAND, at linktoexpert.com. That's JWEILAND at linktoexpert.com. Check out her website, linktoexpert.com. You guys are going to be blown away because it is not, we call it like a directory, but it isn't. It is like this worldwide slam dunk, it's just packed full with expert information, all kinds of stuff that can help your business. So you want to definitely check it out, linktoexpert.com. And then, of course, I love to hear from you. I read all of your emails personally. No one answers them but me. You just go to goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. We would love and be honored to have you on as a guest, have you on as a host on our network. We would love to be able to share and shine the light on you. So that would be a wonderful thing. So again, let's make sure you guys know who we are. We're Linked to Expert Business Showcase. I've lost the link to it. Here it is, Linked to Expert Business Showcase. I am Cece Shatz and Joanne. And we hope you'll join us next time. Bye for now.